Most of us think the biggest threats to our money are these huge, scary things, like a stock market crash or wild inflation. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the single biggest danger to your financial future is that little device you're probably holding right now? I mean, we all know it eats our time, but what if it's also, by design, algorithmically eating your money? Yeah, let's get into it. Welcome to my channel, The Financial Exit. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how your phone is rewiring your brain to keep you broke. But more importantly, we're going to talk about what you can actually do about it. All right, so let's tackle problem number one. We see apps like Instagram and TikTok as just, fun entertainment. But financially speaking, they're basically a comparison engine that's bolted onto a shopping mall that is open 24/7 and never, ever closes. Think about it this way. It used to be that you were just keeping up with the Joneses. Your neighbors, the people you actually knew. They get a new car, you feel a little twinge of envy, right? But now, it is a nonstop global competition. You're comparing your life to literally the entire world's highlight reel, which just normalizes a standard of living that's, it's completely impossible for almost everyone to actually afford. And this is the perfect picture of that classic trap lifestyle inflation. You get a raise at work. Awesome, but your brain, which has been trained by social media, immediately thinks, okay, what can I upgrade? That nicer apartment, that new car lease, the designer stuff. And what's the result? You're making more money, sure, but you're not getting any wealthier. You're just a processing center for a bigger pile of cash, trapped by your own fancy expenses. Okay, so this is where it gets really sneaky. This constant game of comparison starts to build some pretty serious psychological traps. These apps are literally designed to prey on our deepest anxieties, and it all starts with the classic FOMO, the fear of missing out. And this FOMO, it has two really expensive faces. First, you've got doom spending. You see that viral Stanley Cup or that weird kitchen gadget everywhere, and you buy it. Not because you actually need it, but just to soothe that little anxiety of feeling left out. And then there's the even scarier side, catastrophic investing. You see one person post about their huge win on some meme stock, and your brain's risk assessment just short circuits. Before you know it, you're gambling your savings chasing hype. All of this leads to a really damaging condition that experts are calling money dysmorphia. It's wild. You could literally have zero debt, a fantastic savings rate, you could be doing everything right, but you feel broke. Why? Because you're comparing your real life, your behind the scenes, to everybody else's perfectly polished highlight reel. It makes you feel ashamed, and that shame either makes you avoid your finances altogether or overspend to try and fake it. So here's what you have to burn into your brain. You are only seeing the lucky ones. It's called survivorship bias. You don't see the mountain of credit card debt behind that vacation photo. You don't see the failed businesses or the insane interest payments on that leased Lamborghini. The only comparison that actually means anything is you this year versus you last year. That's it. And let's be real about where this advice is coming from. A real regulated financial advisor has something called a fiduciary duty. That's a fancy legal term that means they are required to act in your best interest. They have to put you first. A TikTok influencer? Well, their duty is to the algorithm and to their sponsors. Their goal isn't your wealth, it's getting views. So please treat their tips as maybe a starting point for your own research, but never the final word. But this isn't just about the money you spend or the sketchy advice you might take. There's this massive hidden cost that we haven't even touched on yet. And honestly, it might be the most expensive one of all. I'm talking about your attention. Get this, the average person spends about 700 hours a year on social media. 700! That's not just wasted time, that's lost potential. Just imagine for a second if you took just half of that time, 350 hours, and put it into learning a new skill or building a little side business. Your entire financial future could be completely different in just a couple of years. And here's the really tricky part. This slide nails it. Social media is literally engineered to break your focus into a million tiny pieces. Real financial progress, like actually auditing your spending or reading through an insurance policy, that's deep, kind of boring work. The infinite scroll puts your brain into this constant dopamine drip state that makes it almost physically impossible to switch gears and do that kind of hard, focused thinking. And of course, the apps make it so much worse by removing every little bit of friction from spending money. You've got integrated shopping, one-click payments, the time between your brain saying, ooh, I want that, and hearing the cha-ching of a payment processed is mere seconds. It completely bypasses the logical part of your brain, and it leads to a financial death by 1,000 tiny cuts. Okay, so that's the problem. And I know, it sounds pretty grim, but here's the good news. You can absolutely fight back. This is not about deleting all your apps and going to live in a cave. It's just about being smart and building some simple boundaries. So, let's get tactical. How do we do it? Tactic number 1, you need to artificially reintroduce some friction into your spending. Try the 72-hour rule for any non-essential purchase over, say, $50. You see it, you want it, and you wait for 72 hours. I promise you, something like 90% of the time, that intense urge to buy just completely evaporates once that initial dopamine hit from seeing it wears off. Next up, you've got to audit your feed. Be a ruthless curator of your own digital space. For 1 week, just pay attention to how different accounts make you feel. If an account consistently makes you feel broke or jealous or just tempts you to spend money, mute it, unfollow it, get it out of your face. You want to build an environment that supports your goals, not one that constantly feeds your insecurities. And you have to set some hard boundaries with your time. This one is huge. Create a weekly non-negotiable money power hour. I'm serious, put it on your calendar. During that hour, your phone goes in another room. No distractions, it's just you and your money. This is where the real work gets done. It's where you stop consuming content about money and you start executing on your plans. Look, if you still get that itch to speculate on some hot tip you saw online, don't just ignore it, contain it. Create a small play fund. Maybe it's 5% of your portfolio, an amount you are 100% prepared to lose. Have fun with it, but you keep the other 95% locked down in a fortress of boring, diversified, long-term investments, far, far away from all the noise of your feed. And please, please be careful of what I call pseudo-productivity. Saving a post or liking a video about opening a Roth IRA feels like you're doing something productive. But let's be honest, it's not the same as actually opening one. One of those activities builds a digital library of bookmarks you'll never look at again. The other one actually builds your wealth. So when you boil it all down, here's the big takeaway. The goal is not to stop using social media. It's to use it as a tool and not let it use you. We need to shift our mindset. Stop buying things to impress strangers on the internet and start using your money to buy freedom for yourself, because that is the only flex that actually matters. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. If you actually get back those 700 hours a year, if you take your focus back from the algorithm, what will you build? What will you create? What will you buy with all of that reclaimed attention? I would love to hear from you down in the comments. What is one purchase that social media convinced you to make that you totally regret now? Let's get a list going down there as a bit of a warning for everyone else. If you found this useful, hitting that like button really does help the channel out. And of course, share this with someone you know who really needs to see it. Thanks for watching.